Checkmate crew, right now it is 9:30 a.m. We just opened here at the New York Stock Exchange. Today is September 15th. Welcome, guys. If you're joining us from Twitch and YouTube, we do have a link for our Discord down in the description box. Click it. It's free. There's no paywalls. Hey, there's no risk on your part. Why not, right? If you were a member of our Discord, you'd know that I got out of our UVXY put position, and these were for October. And yes, you see, I'm gone. I'm out. I just got out at break even. Okay, I didn't want to hold on to it. If on those UVXY lottos, if they don't materialize in profits very quickly, I just get out. There's no point in paying all that theta for it. All right. So I just wanted to give you guys that update. First, let's actually flip the script a little bit and let's talk about crypto first. All right. So today we had the merge. The merge was successful. Blah, blah, blah. That's the story, right? Okay. So here's the thing. What's the market doing, right? So Ethereum is down. Sell the news, right? It was sell the news. And we warned about this. This could happen. If you looked at all the positioning, remember all that positive delta we were looking at? Let's see here. Big block order right here. There's a standalone sell for the March 1,700 calls, $1.2 million. All right. So we saw this December and the March option chain. Lots of calls were buying. It was very, very positive delta. What do you think all those institutions are going to do after the news comes out and they're in the profit? Do you think they're just going to hold on to it? Probably not. They'll probably take some profits. So hopefully you guys were able to manage some risk. That's good for us. Some of us who are not in the position and we're just being patient. Hopefully it gets to our buy levels, around that 1220 or so. That's when I really want to start nibbling on some Ethereum and, perhaps Bitcoin at those levels. Bitcoin would probably be around 17,000 or so if crypto as a whole just comes back down a little bit. All right. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, just thought you guys should see that. I know a lot of you guys trade Ethereum and Bitcoin. As far as the some of the options volume, a lot of it is also in the September 30th contract. So if you go to the September 30th right now, in a lot of the calls and puts, we have some volume right here. Oh, they always make you redo that. There we go. All right, so here you go. We see a lot of call buying for end of September, and I think this is mostly retail. Retail is buying calls right now, and as you can see, the block trades, the bigger boys, probably the hedge funds, they're selling their longer dated calls that they've already been buying. All right. So figures, right? Retail's just two steps behind. And if it keeps selling off, then it's just even more money fueling the downside. They'll have to, most likely they'll probably sell very low, but still it'll add some selling pressure. So something to look out for. And when it gets to around 1,200, again, I'm going to start nibbling on some Ethereum. All right. So that plan hasn't changed. Next, domino effect. There is a potential domino effect that I think could happen. One of our favorite indicators that we've been looking at is the 5-year treasury futures. Okay. I think, all right, so if it breaks and makes new lows, then that's just, I don't think a lot of risk assets, no risk asset will like that. Everything is probably going to go down. That's risk on currencies, indices, crypto, everything will go down. If the shorter dated treasury notes go down, That's what's going to happen. And, you know, again, down is dash for cash, up is cash is trash, right? That's our original indicator. We introduced this back in June. I think this is going to be even more important if we see this actually reverse and go up. All right. If that happens, I think that will put a lot of pressure on the Japanese yen, US dollar Japanese yen pair. And I think the Japanese yen will appreciate against the dollar, forcing this chart down. Okay. When Japanese yen appreciates, the US dollar Japanese yen pair chart goes down. Okay. That will make this collapse. All right, and there's a lot of money that will chase. I mean, because there's a lot of institutional money that's long on this. They've been riding long. All right, this is a very crowded trade. So if this unwinds, that also causes a domino effect and causes the dollar to sell off. All right, the dollar will probably come down. All right, as the dollar comes down, euro will go up. Oops. The euro will go up. And this will probably be an opportunity to long on Boeing. All right. Boeing, generally when the dollar comes down, Boeing shares pop up. It's very, very sensitive to the dollar. It's one of our largest exporters here in the United States. So that, I think, will cause a chain reaction. Boeing will go up. Also, gold will go up too. All right. I already have Boeing. I have shares. That's my 4th largest holding in my long-term account. You know, but I may play some options in Boeing. I'm not sure yet. I do want... Let's go back to Boeing. I do want Boeing to come down just a little bit before I get long. And I want to see that trigger first in the 5-year treasury bond futures. I'm not going to go into this without that 5-year treasury note coming down. Okay? This going up. This has to go up first. All right? We see this go up. And then I might get some buy some calls for Boeing. And at the same time, if I can get a fill on some gold call spreads, and if the gold can touch 1680 or so, that's where I would want to go long on gold. All right, so that plan hasn't changed. All right. But now I guess the only change to the plan is this condition also has to be, all right? I have to get this condition in order for all these trades to trigger, all right? ZF has to rise. And right now, it doesn't even look like it's going to be able to maintain this low from June. So again, this comes first, okay? So none of this means anything unless this happens. But I think it is going to be a chain reaction. Silver too, gold, precious metals, silver, all of that will go up. So you can use this ETF. Some of you guys who don't have futures enabled accounts, you can use this. You can use GLD, which is the gold ETF. I might use the gold ETF too. We'll see. We'll see what happens at that point. At that point when ZF makes, at least rallies a little bit, let's see what happens. Okay. Without this, it's not going to happen, all right? And it actually looks like we may even break it. Oh, there you go. One of my alerts went off, 1690, so now we're getting really close, all right? The dollar must be going up because of this. Again, when it goes down, dash for cash. Yep, there we go, dash for cash. This is a great indicator. So if you guys are looking at one chart, and I said this yesterday, if you guys are going to look at only one chart today, you should probably look at the 5-year treasury note. All right. This is the one chart you want to look at if you're only going to look at one. All right. So my eyes are on this. Let's just go through some of our other indicators. The junk bonds ADL, it did go down as the market went up yesterday. That's interesting. So we are seeing junk bonds having more declines than advances now, 2 days in a row. What is HYG doing today? Let's see what's doing at the open. I haven't even seen the opening prices. Oh, it's coming down. So there we go. So liquidity is exiting the markets. Okay, we were seeing risk off sentiment. TIP-TLT, this is our inflation indicator. It is actually, it's very calm. All right, as I think it's very calm. So it looks like those with money, you know, again, this trade is a tradable pair. There is a lot of institutional money in this, but it takes a lot of money to do this trade. And so the big money right now doesn't look like they're afraid of inflation. Even after this was the day of the CPI report, down. So, you know, this is the inflation protected treasury divided by long-term treasury. And if this goes down, that means the big money is expecting inflation to come down. If it goes up, that means the big money is expecting inflation to go up. So as we can see here, even back in 2021, they were, you know, it was rising. That's how I knew back in here around November. That's when I said, hey, you know, we might see inflation next year. You know, some of us were warning about inflation right here. This was our signal. This was it. All right, but now it's calming down. So we'll see. It's actually now down for the day. I still think in October, November, we're going to see a much lower than expected number. And again, once again, the Fed is going to have to play catch up. All right. So that's what I think. All right. But, you know, it doesn't matter what I think. It's about what the market says. So we'll do whatever the market tells us to do. TNX, which is 10-year bonds, still going up. Not good for tech stocks. How are tech stocks doing? They're down. Oh, there you go. 0.83 down. While ES is 0.4, 0.5. Okay. So yeah, so there you go. Tech is underperforming, and we saw this coming, guys, from a couple weeks ago from our growth to value chart, growth to value ratio. It's been coming down. So we can expect tech stocks to underperform. So if you guys are going to play another bear market rally, and again, I think, it comes down to ZF. All right. If ZF comes up and we're going to play a bear market rally for this round, I think Boeing's a great candidate to play. Because I think that chain reaction, once that ZF goes up, dollar comes down, yen, the US dollar yen pair comes down, euro goes up, that's just, you know, I think Boeing is probably going to go to 180 then at that point. All right. So again, all right, it's all coming together. Also gold too. All right. I'm going to go long on gold as well if that happens. In other commodities, I know some of you guys are playing oil. Oil's coming down. All right. There's some news in China. They're still dealing with COVID lockdowns in China. Having some issues, and not only that, they're shutting down too because of a lack of water. There's a region that uses a lot of hydroelectric power, and they've been asked to cut down on production. A lot of the factory owners there. So we'll see what happens. But I think that news is putting a little bit of pressure on oil demand. And we also, you know, a couple of weeks ago, we told you guys that the Saudis were quoting their Asian clients much lower prices in the spot market. And that was kind of the clue that we might see some lower prices. For oil, you know, remember from yesterday, the White House staffer, you know, announced that the White House is prepared to buy oil at 80 to fill up their strategic reserves again. So that would mean in a spot, if it's 80, it's probably in the futures market. It's probably going to be around that 75, 77 zone. So if it gets there, I'll get long on oil then. I'm still looking to short if it gets to the top of our price structure right here. But no trades until then. All right. Nat gas, we had a huge day up and then a huge day down. I'm not playing this. This just... I used to play this when I was a younger man. I am not doing that. I'm not doing that. But I know some of you guys like to play this. Meats are still up. There's been some news about the union strike, the railroad union strike. I think there was some good news. It was like good news, and so we're seeing some of the commodity prices come back down a little bit off the good news. We'll see what happens. So I know it's very news driven right now. So if you guys are trading futures on corn or anything, just watch out. Any good news, bad news might change everything really quickly. So stay nimble. And as far as our other liquidity indicators, today look at that. The high low is going down. So even if we do see a rally, I don't see it as very sustainable. If this can't come up, we have no Moab, no mother of all buy the dip signals. All right. So again, this has to go up in order for us to have that mother of all buy the dip signals. No, if it doesn't, then it's not a signal. It's going to probably just be a bear market rally. And as long as the market rallies and our liquidity signals are still negative, we will look to short via long put spreads at our levels. And I think if we can get to around 4100, 4150, I think I'm willing to short. I think I'm willing to go long put vertical spreads. I'll probably buy it on QQQ though, because that will probably be the weakest of the indices based on our growth to value chart. All right. So that plan hasn't changed. The plan for going long still hasn't changed. All right. 360, around the 360 zone, 360, 365, 340, 345 zone. That's where I'll be buying some SPY shares. That hasn't changed. If we're going to see a bear market rally, again, Boeing, I'm going to buy Boeing. Going to use call spreads on Boeing. Let's see what call spreads on Boeing look like right now. That would probably be something short term. Let's see here. Oh, there's some decent. No, there's not really that much of a good skew. $150 to $150, $170 for $5. Okay, so for $5, you can make 20. That's 3-to-1 reward to risk. That looks pretty good. But again, I want to see it drop a little bit more. And again, the real signal, if you're going to look at one chart today, make it ZF. 5-year Treasury note futures. Put that June low, put that line in, horizontal line in right at the June lows. And if we close the week below that, expect some more sell-off in the market. But if it starts rising up, and if it gets over here, over the 13th, the high of the 13th, if it gets over there, then I think this chain reaction happens. All right. So this is what I'm going to be looking at. That's my next move right here. I think this is going to be a good trade. This will be a short-term swing. I like it. This in gold. All right. Oh, it retreated from 6.9. I think it's a good chance it gets to 1680. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be very patient. All right. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, oh well. So be it. All right. Nothing else has changed. None of my other plans have changed. I'm still waiting for our levels. You can go back to our previous episodes and look at those. I don't see. Oh, Ford is up. What? It's really stubborn. It really doesn't want to come down, does it? This is a wonderful stock, by the way. That's why I'm trying to get in. Let's see what small caps is doing. Yeah. So yeah, none of our plans have changed. So any questions? Anything you guys want to see? Yeah, Ford. One of our Discord members has said F is resilient. Yes, it is. It is very resilient indeed. Oh, JMR mentioned that the new options chain got opened, the January 2025s. So that's interesting. Maybe we use F as a example for the poor man's covered call. Maybe you have a really much smaller account and you want to participate in this and sell covered calls. You may want to consider the poor man's covered call. And for that episode, maybe we'll use Ford as an example. Gives you 2 years. Not bad. It gives you leverage too on the trade. Okay. Any other questions? Going once, going twice. All right. Then in that case, all right, we're going to end it here. I'll hang around in the Discord for a bit. Again, guys, if you're joining us on YouTube or Twitch, our Discord link is in the description below. Again, there's no paywalls, no sub fees. Join us. We have great traders here. We bounce a lot of trading ideas off of each other. We talk about trading around the clock. Join us. You got nothing to lose. So we'll see you again next week. Next week, same thing. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll do it right at market open again. Tomorrow, I might do another session. Let's see what happens today. If we see a lot of action happening today, I'll try to get on tomorrow and we'll